Chat, I got died. He came out of nowhere. He came out of nowhere. Pink just came out of nowhere and died me. I don't know what to do, chat. Don't worry, it's reversible. Anyways, hello. How is everybody doing today? Can I bomb your rapes? I mean, you possibly could. I wouldn't suggest it because you'll probably get caught. But down with capitalism, take them all out. You got this. Oh, what? Don't worry about it. Sorry. We'll swap back. Vanya, I miss you, Vanya. Come back. Come back, Vanya. Carlist. You are absolutely adorable. I hope you know that you are so freaking adorable. Getting to see you be all excited to get praise and just living on that has been so cute. But, Carlist, you are wonderful. You are great. I love having you here in this stream. And you're just so sweet and so kind and just you're wonderful, okay? I'm so happy to have you here. I'm so happy to see you in every space you are. Thank you so much for being a member of this community and, thank you for being excited about the praise. You are incredible. Don't let anybody ever tell you differently. Okay. You are wonderful, kind, sweet, and you only deserve the best in life. I promise you. Mwah. Gene hates everyone. Gene hates no one. Gene hates no one. Gene hates no one. Gene hates no one. Anyways, let's play some lo-fi so I can focus for a little bit. Hello, chat. How are you doing? Hope everybody's doing good. Thank you, Keeper, for getting first, Echo for getting second, and Voiden, thank you for getting third. Mwah. Let's see who we have here today. Hi, Pink. Hey, Neeks. Neeks, it's so good to see you. Love seeing you here. Oh, you're lurking already. Okay, never mind. I guess you're not here. Hi, Lilith Queen. How you doing? Hey, Venus. Hi, Spell. Good to see you. Hello, Lily. Hello, Moreau. Moreau, I hope you're not too tired. Evil Diva, get some sleep. Enjoy your sleep. Hang out if you want. Pomo. Good to see you, Pomo. Mwah. How you doing, Pomo? I saw you doing ASMR this morning. It was really good. You did a great job. Now it'll be in my head. I'm sorry, Echo, but it's just going to be the way it is. Also, hello, Echo. I already said hello to Vanya. Hello, Nix. Good to see you. Don't bomb places because you will get caught. Carlist. Mwah. Mitchie. Hello, Mitchie. Good to see you. And I think Silas isn't here. No. We already said hi to Vanya. We already said hello to Pink. Hello, Pink. Mwah. Hello, Lily again. Oh, you're playing Doom. Got it. What you did for me after stream. What did you do for me after stream? What did you do for me after stream, Desi? What do you mean, what you did for me? Oh, I'm sorry you're feeling feverish. Where'd you do it? Hello, Amethyst. Good to see you. Hello, Ursula. Of course. Check my Ko-fi. Ko-fi. Log in. Google. I think it's this account. Oh, you motherfucker. Thank you, Desi. Thank you. I'll buy the DLC, okay? I'll buy the DLC. We're not playing it tonight, but I'll buy it. I appreciate it, okay? Oh, right. I gotta post the schedule. 1 second, chat. I've got to post the schedule. Hi, Crow. How you doing? How you doing, Crow? Schedule. Whoop. It didn't work, chat. It didn't work. Damn it. Copy message link. That's not right. Maybe it is. No, that's not right. All right, how do I do this? Shoot, I can't remember how to copy this. Chat, I'm failing. I'm trying so hard. Sorry. Hello, Isabella. Good to see you. Good to see you. How you all doing? There's the button. Okay. Na 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 na. There we go. Okay, schedule is up, everybody. Hi. Hey, Gene, you're my favorite person. I'm glad to hear that. Now you can't say I never did anything nice for you. Desi, I've never said you haven't done anything good for me. Crow, good to see you. Palmo, you're adorable. Did I miss anybody else who slipped in while I was looking away? Ursula, I already said hi to you. I'm sorry. Get some ada. Thank you. Okay. So the game we're playing today is Date Everything. I know everybody's always excited for Date Everything, so you know we had to do it to them. Unable to sync my cloud save. Oh no, chat. Is this going to be a problem? There's no connection. Did my internet... No, we're still here, right? I'm still here. Steam down? Oh, Steam down. Boo. Boo. Wow. Chat, I made myself a mixed drink, and it might be a little bit too good. That is EZP. We're gonna be dark. We're gonna be dark coded today, chat. Do. It wasn't much of a mixed drink. Vanya, we can swap between things. Let me try different colors, Vanya. Be happy for me, please. Please, darling. Stranger danger. Okay, fine. We'll go back to the red. Oh, wrong color. Chat, it's broken. Help me, chat. Help me, it's broke. Oh, there we go. Guys, it's broken. Now we're in dark mode. Who's that man? Y'all are cute, you know that. Gene, if you're dating all of the furniture, you should be dating yourself because you are our pillow. Chad, are you laying on me? Have you all been laying on me? Is that what's been happening? Is that why I haven't been sleeping well? Because everybody's been laying on me while I'm sleeping? I seen footage. Do. All right, 1 second while I check the properties of this. Okay, that's fine. Can I check the properties of this? That's fine. This should be good. Now if I go here. Chat, can you hear the game? Can you hear the game? Good. Chat, I can only take so many of you sleeping on me at once. Oh, it's quiet? Okay, thank you for letting me know. We will boost that up a little bit. I can only take so many people laying on me at once, chat. So, you know. Okay. Sounds good. You can't stop me. Gina sehr schön. Pinky, du bist auch schön. Liebe Pinky. By the way, chat, this is Pinky Cafe. They're a fantastic VTuber. They are streaming from the... Whoa, the ball moved. They are streaming from the Kiwi country. So they don't have their best model, but they're still a good streamer. They'll just be better with their model. But go check them out. They're lovely. Hello. Mwah. All right, chat, we're going to date a ball.
One moment you're looking at your old sports equipment.
What the fuck is
and
this?
The next you're looking at a gorgeous, muscled man dressed in various pieces of sports equipment that once belonged to
Game
a
seems a little loud. We're gonna turn on the game a little bit. Yeah.
As you watch this guy go through an entire squat routine, it's more than clear that, unlike you, this guy has never
balls.
athletic routine.
Why are they skates? I hate that. His arms are constantly bent. I hate this. He can't unbend his arms.
He stops suddenly.
Unbend your arms.
To peer at you through his legs.
Yes, he will be, Isabella. Don't do that.
Boxed in by thighs so thick and developed, you're rendered speechless for a few minutes.
Chat, this is terrifying. He can't unbend his arms, chat. He can't unbend his arms.
Oh, hey.
He sets his weights down.
He hasn't unbent his arms yet, chat.
Like you've just told him he's won the lottery.
It's about time you made your way over here. I was starting to think you forgot about me.
The idea that my arms could not unbend and they would always have to be like, no. Wait a second.
Of course you do.
No. Give me a second. Wait.
But I'll never turn down a chance to introduce myself.
The lights dim, and a spotlight
It's him,
appears
chat.
from- You're not quite sure
It's
what
Sayu.
really.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Does he realize how terrifying this character is, though?
now entering the stadium, the king of the ring, the Duke of Dunk.
Hey, chat. I've decided. I figured something out. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm. I'm gonna start a feud with Sayu. I'm gonna find all of his characters, and I'm going to dub over them. I'm gonna redub all the characters he's played in all games, so I can start a feud with him.
Oh, hell yeah.
Dunk shuttlecock. I hate them.
Thank you.
He goes through a few poses that really make his abundant muscles pop, looking at you with the grin of a confident athlete.
Cheer for him. I need to not talk to him anymore. I hate his elbows. I hate his elbows so much.
A few more moments basking in your attention.
Oh, man. It's been a while since I actually had an audience. Feels good. Don't
Oh, sure does. Can I stop talking to you?
That's just stuff that makes me sound cool.
Why are they on his elbows?
Or wherever I'm playing.
Cock.
This is fine for pal.
Are we pals?
Total. We might have just met, but strangers are all just friends you haven't met yet.
His voice is great. He's doing a good job.
It's great to
Super
see
proud of
you
him.
finally.
I don't want this anymore.
He grows very serious, placing a strong but
What?
gentle hand on your shoulder.
Chat, I'm being spammed. 1 second. Chat, that's worrying. Give me a second. I need to check on something real quick, chat. Uh-huh. Yep, give me a sec. I just got texted a code for Facebook. I'm not on Facebook. So I'm going to go fix this real quick. I've seen footage. I've seen footage. Okay. All right, that is fixed. There we go. Okay, we're good to go. Sorry about that, chat. Fixed it. Na 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 na. We're completely fucked. Completely fucked. We're completely fucked.
Did someone ruin the joy of sports for you?
What is he doing with his hands, chat? Why does he have a shake weight?
Ah, man, I get that.
It's me, chat. I'm Mr. Beast. Give me money. Oh, Sayu.
Dunk
The
gives
voice
your
actor of this
shoulder
guy.
one
I don't know.
final
Fuck
little
it.
Squeeze, and then he's slapping you on the back so enthusiastically you nearly collapse. This fine hunk clearly does not know his own strength.
Ask Keeper, tell me about the shake weight.
Well, hey, no matter what happened before, you're here now. Your inner athlete said, "Let's get it, baby."
I'm not actually having a beef.
Say no to your inner athlete.
I feel like this is all moving so fast.
Sometimes it be like that, buddy. When the ball's in your court, you don't have time to
Please
waste about what you're gonna do.
straighten your arms.
You gotta assess the situation. Pass the ball or take the shot, baby.
Really? That's crazy.
We just gotta get you into the flow. But I want to make sure you're ready for it.
Because of his
After all,
teeth.
working out without a proper warm-up is a great way to get a nasty injury. So you come back here when you're ready to get it. Meet me by the weight rack, all right? Bring your positive attitude. We're gonna have fun.
We're never, ever, ever speaking to him again, chat. Unless he figures out a way to straighten your arms. No, gangster. No. You need to be able to straighten your arms. If you're... I need to get my teeth done, chat. I need to get some good work done on my teeth. They're on his arms. He can't move them. I hate him. I hate the man so much. All right, chat. We have a question. Toxic heterosexual relationship. Toxic gay relationship. Chair. What do you want to talk to? Have we ever talked to the chair? Have we ever talked to a chair? It's not Yuri, it's Yowie. This is Toxic Yowie, this is Toxic Straights. We don't have any Toxic Yuris. We're talking to the chair, chat.
Coming.
Oh my god, they're cute. Oh my god, they sound cute. They better be cute,
Hello. Sorry for any confusion.
They are cute. But I don't understand. Right? It's weird. They're cute. No, but I like the hair. I think it's the outfit. She is hot. But it's weird. It's like it's so wrong and right at the same time.
I'm currently working my day job at all 5 restaurants and bars in the house. It's hard being an actor.
Jeremy, I'm thinking I need to take 5 for a second. Can you cover for
I
me?
love him. Look at this man.
Coming! Stop by for another night of some theater.
What? Honey, we were supposed to have a conversation. What do you mean? Okay. Well, she just fucking left. All right, we're talking to the couch.
Seated in your living room is a being who seems to truly embody the concept of comfort.
I love that
His
she's just,
arms
hi,
are draped
Lucky.
over
How you
the back of
doing?
the couch,
Mwah.
His head tilted
Oh, you
back,
followed me before,
with
didn't you?
His eyes beginning to flutter shut.
Doom.
He looks just as though he's about to fall asleep. But when he sees you approaching, he shakes it off, looking up at you with a sweet smile.
Chat, would you hate me if I looked like this man?
Hello.
You and Cuzzy mind if I join?
No way.
I don't
Please
look like
do.
this man.
He pats the seat next to him.
He has nicer titties than I do.
Come on and take a load off.
He's letting me get on top.
I'm Koa, by the way.
I said, can I join you? And he said, come on, take a load off. I love him. I love him. I love him. I wish they'd given him the tattoos. I guess he's probably Hawaiian, not Maori. Maori. I'm a great hugger. You're my couch.
Sure am.
God. Yes.
Most
He's
everyone
Samoan.
would continue the
Samoan is what he
conversation
is.
from here, but Koa only closes his eyes, sighing pleasantly. You wait for him to say something, but all you can hear is his quiet breathing.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
No, we can be chill. We don't need to say anything.
Koa opens one eye, but he doesn't move.
No talking needed.
I just thought you might like to share in all this comfort. You know?
Yes.
Couch culture
Please.
is really all about taking it easy together. You know, like, you ever heard people talk about alone?
Oh, he's so cute. He's so cute. Wait, I got this. I got to do something real quick. Okay, we're good.
Right on, right on.
Enjoy your bubble bath.
Get it then. I wish more people understood the beauty of alone together. It means you can be at peace with another being without
Wow.
even saying a word.
This hits. This hits.
It means not forcing a conversation or an activity between the two of you. It means just enjoying the moment without any expectations.
He sighs pleasantly, closing his eyes.
I need this. This is what I need, chat. I just need somebody that I can be alone with, you know? So I guess I'll give it a shot.
Beautiful. You'll see.
He's perfect.
Koa breathes in deep, sighing pleasantly. When he relaxes, the entire room seems to relax with him. You find yourself growing sleepier alongside him. You're not sure how much time passes as the two of you sit side by side in companionable
Hello, Ross
silence,
Cloyd. How you
but
doing?
it's certainly a good while.
Thanks for keeping it chill, buddy. This was real nice. Got something I want to give you.
Don't give me money now. This makes it feel dirty. Whoa, free money.
It's not free. It's your money.
I'm
know,
good, Ross. How you
In
doing?
couch culture,
Oh, you're good.
we're not big on expressing ourselves verbally.
Oh, it was down his pants.
We prefer to let our actions speak for us. And a gift like this, it's just a way of honoring our friendship.
I'm touched you share the culture
I'm
with
just
me.
glad you appreciate it.
Koa yawns.
I'm gonna take a nap. Feel free to stick around as long as you want. All right? I'm just so comfy.
Oh. Yay. Son sniffing the money. Oh, God. Don't sniff the money, chat. Don't sniff the money. I want to close this. Close it. Wait. We have one more thing to talk to, chat. Okay, toxic yaoi or toxic hetero? Toxic yaoi or toxic hetero, chat? Which one do you want? Toxic yaoi? Okay. One or two. We already talked to the chair. One or two. One or two. Two? Got it.
You may have wandered with mad disquietude into a world which will overwhelm you. I must confess, there is a part of me which longs to see you drowned in it. Drowned in the darkness and the sorrow, if only so that I will be understood in the eyes of one who is drowned like me.
Jet, my hair's long to sing. Hi, Washford. How's it going?
It goes as it goes.
It goes as it goes. No, I didn't. What do you mean? What did I do? What, I didn't do it. No, no, I did. It's fine. It's fine. I didn't do anything.
Was. My God, I was. and the light and the darkness consumed us both. And time crept in this penitent crawl moment to moment, to night, and I didn't notice. I have not enough breath in me to care for anything but this, for anyone but this, for anywhere but this now, my love.
Jesus. My love, you are on your own journey right now, man. Hey, you know I'm here, right?
Come with me.
Aye, ice. Oh, chat, I am on call tonight and tomorrow, so I'm going to try to do a little ASMR tomorrow, but if I do... Ooh, that's a problem. Ooh, that's a problem. 1 second, chat. We're Gucci. Okay, I might get a call
Come
during
before
stream
me,
tomorrow. Just
with a
heads
look
up.
so piteous as if we had been loosed out of hell to revel in horror. You know, only a heap of broken images. A casual forgetting of even the shallow breath you're shackled to. You are a poor marionetted hanged man, dripping from his cobweb strings. Come with me.
I'm running into a lot of problems, chat.
Come into the deep water.
I got 99 problems. And then a few more fucking problems. And then a lot of fucking other problems. Chat, I have to call him tomorrow. Oh, why? No, don't. Nobody call me tomorrow.
Give you lustful abandon.
Anything you can do? You can do my job if you want. If you want to go to my work. I got 99 problems and a few more problems, and even fucking more problems. No, Vanya. My problems were with my work because my work. I'm on call and my app broke. No. I'm sorry, Vanya. Hi, Moxie. Mwah. How you doing? Wait. I will give you lustful abandon under a salted rage of stars. Hey. I will give you lustful abandon under a salted rage of stars. You
fool. No. That was unkind.
You
Do not
fool.
Pleasure. Ecstasy. Was he into this stuff? We exalted in each other in a way you could not possibly imagine.
You fool. Pleasure. Ecstasy. Was he into this stuff? Anyways,
My guess is you never really tried. There is another poem I think you might like. One that truly sums up our relationship. It's by T.S. Eliot. One of my personal favorites. This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends.
not with a bang,
Not with a bang,
but a whisper.
Yes, of course.
Feet?
The poetry of it
Feet?
all. But please,
Chat. Give me a second. Give me a second, chat. I'm going to play a song for you real quick. This is really important. It's really important. Give me a second. Okay, here you go. Give me a second. Give me a second, chat. Chat, I froze. Anyways.
it would destroy me to know that my passion was boring you. I have two of brightly lit eyes gradually fading. The mask of tolerance sliding over the once familiar features of
Oh, skeet. I want pigs of feet. I do.
It is a precious kind of heartbreak. And my heart has its share of scars.
Chat, do we have any fish? Can somebody eat Ora real quick?
Rather than batter away at the merciless stone of an unsympathetic mind, I will release you. Good luck to you, traveler.
Gangsta, I'm sorry you're struggling to be better at Doom than me. Me when I get you. Me when I get you. Me when I get you, Vanya. Me when I get you.
You
Don't bang on me. Oh, Neek, sweetie. Keeper, no, come back. Keeper, come back. Keeper, don't leave. Keeper, you're not allowed to leave. Come back right now, Keeper. Keeper. Can I? Who do you want me to meet? Void, who do you want me to meet? Welcome back, Keeper. Missed you. Mwah. Who should I meet? Oh, fine. Go watch your anime. You said somebody under the stairs. Under the stairs. If you stare at the back wall, at the back of the stairs for 20 seconds, you meet. Okay. Back. Okay. Got it. Has it been 20 seconds yet? Ah. I sure do love Wall chat. Wall is the best. Chat, do you also like Wall? Oh shit, chat, I gotta fix something. Projects in my room, gonna da. Oh, ski. I like Pixie, I do. Alright, we're back. Home. This wall is wall. Fine, I won't move. I'm keeping my hands off of it. What? Yes, Venus? What's up, Venus?
An expanse of blinding white, muscled skin fills your vision. It reminds you of that class field trip to the art museum, if not for the torn jeans on this ivory Adonis's.
I was trying to eat the wall. Hello.
But as your eyes continue to travel up and take everything in, you note
This
that
is
the
you IRL?
similarities to a
Hot,
classic marble
hot,
statue come to an abrupt
hot.
and screeching halt at this guy's face. He almost resembles a bleached bowling ball. His eyes are two dark and unreadable holes. His mouth nothing more than a thin line. He has no nose, no cheekbones, no ears. His shining white face is simply devoid
Hello,
of just about
sailor.
anything.
I'm not hitting that. I'm slamming that.
What's up, baby? Nice ass.
What? I'm sorry. Oh, that's... excuse me.
No, I don't think I will.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. Chat, I don't know. I don't know where I'm at with this one.
Yeesh. I gotta write a whole dissertation for you.
Yeah, you do.
You want some graphs and pie charts?
Please.
Oh, how about some Venn diagrams?
All right, now he lost me. What the fuck is he doing now?
Will that help you figure it out?
Yes, please. Maybe. Can I see the pie chart?
I don't know. Can you?
Wait, chat, am I supposed to be toxic? Really, chat? Is this all it takes for you? Disinterest and a lack of facial features?
It's a good thing you're nice to look
Wow.
at, because you're definitely not much in the brains department. Here, I'll give you a hint about my true secret identity. I'm what you spend your entire life avoiding.
Existential dread. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can tell. But not even remotely close. I'm Your overwhelming sense.
Oh my God, it is! I called it. There's no way. There's no way. Oh God, this game gets me.
But my
This
home
game
is Doug.
Hey, yo, what's up, Doug? God, I see you every morning and evening, and you cause quite a few of my panic attacks. He got that Doug in me. What's up, Doug? Hi, Doug.
Did I say we were homies?
Oh. Yes, you did.
Nope.
Damn it, I tried.
But enough about me. What's your name, baby?
Spartacus.
I knew Spartacus back in high school. What a whiny little bitch.
I was just with Doug last night. God, Doug kicks my ass a lot.
That doesn't fit your vibe at all. We need something that really captures your fundamental, immutable essence. I'm gonna call you...
Really, Crow? I'll figure it out.
Dork.
Hey, chat. He shares a name with you.
Damn straight. I could smell the dork on you from a mile away.
He shares a name with you all. I'm marrying.
Smells like nacho cheese-flavored corn chips. Anyway, dork, since you're here, you might as well make yourself useful and help me out.
You are a nerd. Excuse me, Palmo, you know what you are. You know what all of you are. Pinky. Fine, Pinky, come here. Pinky. Ja, Pinky. Du bist so schön und schade, mein Deutsch ist nicht so gut. Warum machst du das jetzt? Pinky, du bist sehr toll, sehr cool, ein sehr gutes Freund und ich mag deinen Stream. Du kannst sehr gut streaming. Bitte, mach mehr Streams. Und danke für being so ein guter Mod. Danke. Mwah. There you go. I'm such a cute little puppy. Hate you. With what?
So I'm doom scrolling share bucket, okay?
So I got one of those Smirnoff Ice that's like a decently high alcohol percentage, and I mixed it with Fanta, and it's delicious, and it tastes too good, and it just tastes like I'm drinking a soda, and I think it's gonna kill me.
God, I really gotta explain everything to you, don't I?
He's changing colors. Too easy to drink.
Big sigh coming through. Share bucket is Valdivian's 8th most addictive social media platform. I've been doom scrolling for hours, and even my totally ripped finger is tired from swiping. So why don't you scroll for me?
Fight me, Batosai.
I think it's a task suitable for your talents.
You did, or you got to DM me about it. Oh, I still got to record some.
Plus, you get to keep hanging out with me, and I'm dope as hell.
I've only done 2 audios.
Nice. And here, I'll even sweeten the deal. You swipe for a while, and I'll reward you with a Doug point.
Hi, Azalea.
He holds out
How you
what
doing,
appears
Angel?
to be a sort of badge.
Yay, a
golden
Doug
image of
point.
his iconic blank face framed by laurel leaves.
Sure, if it'll shut you up.
Yay, Doug
Anyway,
point.
enough yammering.
I'm doing pretty good. Better now that you're
Read
here.
me some viral share bucket posts, would you? What are the top 3 most popular posts right now?
This guy says Mexico's a psyop.
Oh, shit.
Mexico isn't real. Fuck. What? He's so serious.
Totally makes sense, right?
Oh, fuck.
Rebucket that stat.
We gotta rebucket it, chat.
Man, this is great. way better than just scrolling and reading by myself.
Chat, tell me lies, and I'm going to believe all of them, and I'll act like I believe them, like he did, okay? Let's do it.
And only 357 billion hours of premium content to go. We're making great time.
His little smile. Aura, since when? When did that happen? Sounds like Gene with Finland. Finland's not real. Fuck. Or I'm scared to go outside.
God, you complain so much.
You should. Why would you do that, Batosai? Funny, please get out of my skin.
Look, you came around here. And
I only have so
spent
much
time
of it.
with me, so I graciously invited you to participate in my kick-ass activities. But I don't have to doom scroll.
Venus, I already know this one. Hi, Ecstasy. Hello, Venus. There's two Venuses. Oh my god. Hi, Ecstasy. How you doing? Mwah. I'm in your skin. Please don't be in my
There's plenty
skin.
of other moderately attractive humans or concepts I could be doom scrolling with.
It's Vanya. Vanya's the bugs.
I mean, I should just text Abby. She is super hot. She did things even porn won't show in some states.
Excuse me?
Abby? She's the unceasingly empty feeling of abandonment. Right up my alley. Damn straight I am. I'm always right.
Stretch, old man. I'm not an old man. And then for the hydrate. Can I do that with Doug? I mean, of course you can. Let's confuse the old man. Damn. Wait. Obama achieved Super Saiyan 2. I knew it. I knew he would. Thank you for the hug.
But
Mwah.
that's okay. A lot of power couples famously were opposites. It's not the end of the world.
Papa, really?
Absolutely.
Banning you.
See, the end of the world happens in 7.59 billion years when the sun engulfs the Earth, destroying our planet and everything that ever existed. No, I said the end of the world happens in 7.59 billion years. The end of humanity happens a lot sooner.
Goddamn. Hello, Azalea. Azalea, sweetie. Azalea, my gorgeous little flower. Do you know how happy I am to see you whenever you come in here? You just immediately come in here, give off such wonderful energy, Azalea. You are great. You're so kind. You are amazing, and I just love having you here. So please keep showing up all the time. I want to see you more often. I really do appreciate you. Mwah. Thank you so much for the redeem. And Moreau, you are such a good girl. Always such a good girl.
What matters is, I'm hot and you're passive.
No banning. Don't you ban
So I don't
anybody.
wanna blow
Behave
your
yourself.
Especially since Abby isn't returning my texts.
Aw, thanks, Doug.
You like that, huh? Well,
No, this
there's
is
a lot
Existential
more where that
Dread. Hello, Robin. How you doing?
Tell you what, why don't you come back around here later and I'll try to find us a new activity we both like. Cool?
And Azalea, you deserve all the love in the world. You'll get exactly what you need. Oh, Moreau, you are such a good girl, and you know you'd be a better girl if you went to bed.
Anyway, I gotta go find some school children and explain to them that no matter what they do, their parents will eventually entropy and die. And
Yay!
the reverse is even worse. Parents outliving their children.
Chat, do that today. Go find a child and explain to them the concept of mortality.
Good shit.
Hello, child. Good to see you. Your parents are gonna die one day.
Exactly. You get it. I'm doing a benevolent service. And don't worry. If you
Not
can't
allowed.
stop
Stay,
thinking about
Vanya.
it tonight when you're all alone in your bed.
I think about you every night, man.
That's totes normal. I tend to have that effect on people. Oh, and don't text me. I don't do clingy. Later, Dorcas.
All right, Dorcas. Oh. Azalea, I'm so glad you added face, because my brain went really, really south with that one. My sweetie. Darling. Pretty little thing. You got this. This was Pinky. Pinky achieved this. It is a stupid face. Nah, your face is stupid. Can I? Yeah, explain death to your little cousin. Record it, post it on Twitter. Have we talked to this wine bottle? I feel like we should talk to this wine bottle. Let's talk to alcoholism. Oh. Yeah, we would talk to the entire cabinet? Vanya, I love you.
A bartender drums her fingers on the countertop, clearly bored out of her mind.
Bargo, what is up?
She makes herself a drink, taking a small sip of it and setting it down.
Vanya is super hot,
Smells her
Chad.
so badly,
Vanya is
she
super
really
hot
knocks it over.
and got big old titties.
Someone's here.
A wooga. Girly pop, do not pour them. Oh yeah, Vanya's personality is gigantic. That's what I meant.
Welcome to my humble bar, the Tipsy Tumbler. I'm Beverly, but you can call me Bev, or Beverly, or Madam Proprietress.
Oh, madam.
That would be so cool.
All right, madam. Hi, Madam Proprietress. Oh my God, look at her blush. Look at the blush. Look at her blush.
I'm the owner and bartender. And
No, she's
janitor
mine.
and
You're gonna have to fight me.
attendant. Nice to meet you.
Chad, should we just be Southern for the rest of the stream? We're just gonna be Southern for the rest of the stream.
Hiya.
All right, Beverly. Boy, Beverly. Gene's gotta be tipsy's gotta be. You know what? No, I'm gonna grab some wine.
She squints at you, frowning as she seems to be considering
Chad, I'm
something.
gonna grab a little wine real quick.
Then
Give me a
she
second.
snaps, pointing at you.
We're okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Southern dog, get paid. We got a color scheme change. Yeah. All right, we got it. Moving it. All right. You get some sleep, Moreau. Sleep well, all right? Fine. We're going back to normal colors. Jesus, y'all, can't you ever be normal? Me? No. I do think it's so funny that y'all. There we go, chat. There's a strange man here for a second. Oh, hey, chat. Do y'all want to hear about my new model idea? I'm gonna have two modes. One is the dog with the red, and the other one is gonna be a sleepy rider. Oh, Crow, sweetie, dear sweet Crow. Crow, what are your preferred pronouns? I will bully the fuck out of the rider form. That's fair. You should. Crow, what are your preferred pronouns? Let's keep talking to Bev. What are your preferred pronouns?
Wait, hold on. Oh my gosh, it's you.
Hello, chat. This is also Gene. This is actually Inej. This is the evil form of me. Sorry, but I said hello to Inej. And this is Gene. Crow, darling, you are absolutely wonderful. You have brightened this stream every time you're here. I've been loving the energy you've been bringing recently. You've just made this such a better place. I get excited whenever I see you here. So I'm really happy that you keep showing up. Crow, you are kind, you are wonderful, and you deserve all the praise in the world, more than I can ever imagine. I hope you know that. So as long as you keep being you, I know the world will give you what you need, alright? Mwah. Thank you so much for the redeem. We'll be Enid for a little while, alright?
Proprietor. I can't believe I didn't recognize you. Ugh.
Enid time.
I
You want me to
owe
change
you
back?
a huge debt. You have
Convince
free
me.
drinks for life here.
Oh, Mitchie, you know I appreciate you so much. Mitchie, I'll make sure you're fed. Anyways,
Welcome
back here.
to the reopening of the Tipsy Tumbler.
Why am I dusty? What do you mean?
And I know what you're thinking. Oh, Bev, that's a lot of openings. Did something happen the first 6 times you tried to open the bar?
Have you?
Nope. Nothing. It's because nothing happened. Not a single customer came. Total ghost
Oh,
town. Each
sweetie,
time.
Bev.
I've lost an alarming amount of sleep trying to figure it out. So please don't leave. You are literally
Wait, has nobody
my
been
first
going to
customer
her?
in ever. Every time I thought you were finally going to invite people over, I'd polish the place up and prepare to be the best host I can be. But then
Oh,
each
shit, it's
time,
because we don't have any
you chicken
friends.
out and spend yet another weekend all alone.
Stop calling me out like this.
I mean, why did you get a mini bar if you weren't going to invite guests over?
Because I'm an alcoholic. I'm sorry. I thought buying the mini bar and all the mixing accessories would motivate me to finally invite somebody over.
But that's okay. It's all water under the bridge.
I relate a lot to this.
You'll have to talk to River if you want that.
That hit.
Anyway, that's enough babbling for me. So take a seat and let me fix you something already.
This game knows too much. I relate to too many of these
Let me
characters.
fix you something. First and foremost, am I making you a cocktail or a mocktail?
Cocktail.
Mocktails are the non-alcoholic versions of a cocktail. Just as fun and delicious, but without the burn. Or the drunk part, obviously. Excellent.
Cocktail.
So, what'll it be?
Chat. Stop worrying about the cock. All right, chat. How much of an alcoholic are you? Martini, Aperol Spritz, Mojito, Ramon's Gin Fizz. Ramos Gin Fizz. Which one do you get? Which one do you get? Stop saying cock. No, chat, I need you to guess. I need you. Stop saying cock. What drink do you think I would order, chat? Doesn't time for. Hi, wow. Lovely to see you. I would not order just vodka. Hello, Aaron. I would not order just vodka. Come on, chat. You can guess. Oh, sorry. Here. Pick a drink. Which one would I get? All of you wrong. All of you wrong. Mojito. Mojito without a doubt.
Ooh, so minty and
Fuck you,
fresh.
Vanya.
Not like brushing your teeth at the bar.
I like a citrusy. I like the minty.
That sounded more appealing in my
Mojitos are
opinion.
so good. But I really like a Moscow Mule.
Coming right up.
Yeah, because the way you figure it out. What is your culture? Pour it out in front of her. No, sip for your drink.
You lift your glass to your lips, taking an extended sip.
You're right, wow.
How was it?
That's fair, Azalea. Really good.
Well, after 6 grand openings, I got a lot of practice in. Plus, with a name like mine, I should know
Fight
my beverages
me.
pretty well.
We're not ordering straight vodka, chat.
I really
Why?
want to close this
Why
place
go to a
down.
bar where they can
Put
mix you any
my
drink and you're like,
bar
give me
and soul
vodka?
into it.
No, at least get something stupid like a green tea shot.
So, will you be my first?
Chat, I'm gonna read you what a green tea shot is. You ready? Okay. Peach schnapps, Jameson Irish whiskey and sour mix.
A returning customer.
It's so good.
Really?
Vodka Gate.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Yes, thank you.
Fuck off. Why is everything I do millennial? I'm flipping you off.
Tell your friends.
Shy margarita's good.
And I'll be seeing you next time.
Also, my drink of choice used to be a gin and tonic. Job application, HR room. I'm most definitely not a boomer. Resume. Show me your resumes. Daiquiris are good. Networking workshop. Long Islands are for when you want to be shit-faced, but don't want to admit you're an alcoholic. But I'm glad you don't drink, Azalea. It's a good thing. Mwah. I'm proud of you. I'm sorry you have ads, Wow Wow. I would pay for your subscription if I had... We're going to talk to the toilet.
You are back. Are you ready to begin the test of rhyming? Or are you
Chat, we're gonna crap. It's time to clap. We are going to clap. Yes, I'm ready.
C'est parti.
C'est parti.
Okay, you have returned in time for
Mwah.
the first test.
Oh, wow, wow.
This would be
We
a
will
baby
do
game
so.
for babies, so little crapper can make sure you are not a little baby who hates. Babies are full diapers, they are not ready for little crapper.
Thank you for gifting the sub. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for the work. Mwah.
Babies have trouble filling their lines in the choices below. They only have so many words before they fill the box, eh?
Or don't say it. What do you mean? I have as many words as I want to fill the box. I'll never run out, right? Oh, I guess this is starting to add up after a while, and if I were to wrap it out, would be even more. Oh, snap. I see. Ooh. You're the one who's a freaking toilet-themed rapper, which is worse than babies according to recent reports. How dare you say that my literal dialogue box is too small? You're not the one who is small-minded. You're the one who is small-minded, not... It may be about the size of the box, but my box is totally the right size, my guy. Maybe you just can't handle my enormous box with the tiny text. Do you feel intimidated by my big box that cannot lie? Is that... Thank you for the sub, Nix. Thank you, Nix. I really, really appreciate it.
Ha! See? Look how tiny your presence is. A rapper needs big presence. They need to shout.
Thank you, Nix. Thank you, Nix. I really appreciate it.
Luckily, Lil Crapper has an assistant for someone with a little baby voice like you. This is Ballcock.
Jean-Loup holds a strangely mic-shaped object in his hands. It's round and black and almost balloon-like.
This is Ballcock.
I'm sure you've seen it before, but...
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. What did you say?
You know, the part of the toilet in the cistern. It is like a floating ball. That is the literal name of it. Look at Lil Crapper's mighty hand. Watch him stroke his own Ballcock as he sings.
No! No! Why? Why? Did you all heard that, right? You all heard that.
mouse and witness.
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Okay, here goes.
You have a big heart and tiny mouse. Bulcock has a big mouse and no heart. He is ruthless. Together, you will show Lil Crappers that you can be a match for him.
This is going so fast.
Here is how the test goes. First, we pick a name to rhyme with. One syllable, easy. Lil Crapper, he picks for you Jacques.
Okay. Okay, we're Jacques.
Okay.
Lil Crapper.
Wait,
will
are we
say the
making it
first
talk?
Part of a sentence. You will finish the sentence. The word you choose, she must rhyme, and she must make sense.
Okay, the first part, we'll say first, you will finish the next sentence. The word you choose, she must rhyme, she must make sense. Okay.
Yo, I know a lad, and his name is. This is the part where you say Jacques.
Jacques.
Jack.
Okay, good. You
Is
are not
this the
stupid. We
real
go.
life? Is just fantasy? God in a landslide, no escape from
Remember, only
reality.
the best can kick it with the crapper. This is easy baby hours. Training pants stuff.
Look
You
up
cannot
to
give
the
up
sky and
You get out of
see.
his face.
I'm just a poor boy, I need no sympathy. Easy come, easy go.
Yo. I know a guy, and his name is
Jacques.
Jack.
never in front, always in the
Back.
Back.
keeps his stuff in a burlap.
Sock.
Suck.
Lives all alone in a tiny.
Shock.
Shuck.
In a fight, he'll give you a
Whack.
Quack.
woo. Okay.
What the fuck?
You have rhymed one word with 4 other words. This is very impressive. To a normal person? Unfortunately for you, Jean-Louis is not normal. He is above normal, paranormal. He is like a ghost because he is so amazing that only 40% of people believe that he even exists. You have succeeded at the bare minimum.
Chat, I am also paranormal. Only 40% of you know I exist. It's true.
But
The other 60% of you do not believe in me.
Maybe, just maybe, you can just barely keep up with Jean-Luc Pissoir,
It's true.
Lil Crapper himself. And maybe someone will want to date you.
Are you interested?
Hey, stop it! This is not like one of your kissless loser videos.
40% rapping. I'm in the 40%. Sorry, chat, I do not actually exist. So you're going to have to figure this out. That I am not actually real. I am just an anime boy.
Almost anybody can do the basic rhymes for babies, but it is time for a real test. Meter and flow. For clarity, Lil Crapper is referring to lyrical flow.
Mwah.
Not the kind that sometimes
Mwah.
requires a plumber
Hi,
to fix
Flutie.
because you think you can
Flutie.
flash any kind of paper down Jean-Luc.
Flutie, such a good girl, aren't you? Such a good girl. Mwah.
Toilet paper only. He does not want your wet wipes, Zosa for the garbage can. Pah! If you need something more to wipe the buns, install a bidet. Anyway, this test will be checking if you understand flow, syllable count, things that are basic to a genius like Lil Crapper. But for someone like you, who knows? Are you ready?
Yes.
You are not. There is much more to cover, and you look like you need a break.
Is he almost gone? Chat, will he
Jean-Luc
leave me alone?
understands he is familiar with
Why won't he leave me
small,
alone?
refreshing breaks and not overstaying his welcome. Return again for more crapping.
Hi, Cookie. Cookie, sweetie, you know that you are a lovely, lovely person, aren't you? Such a good boy. You do fantastic art, and you're so kind and caring and just absolutely lovely. I really, really, really do appreciate you, and I hope you know that. It's a good thing to have you in my community. You are wonderful. Mwah. All right, chat, do we go talk to the ghost? Oh, we can't talk to the ghost yet. We got to be tired first. All right, chat, who do we talk to? Do we talk to the chair today? I want to see toxic heteros. Toxic heteros, chat!
There's no yelling when you enter the laundry room today. But the tension is
Thank you
the
for the
thickest
reading.
it's ever been. Harper and Dirk stand facing away from each other, neither speaking to the other.
We'll talk to the ghost tonight, don't you worry. We've already talked to the
They
gaming
perk
console.
up when they see you. It seems your little discussion the other day hasn't affected your relationship with them.
No matter what I say, no matter what I do, I can't get Durkee to see how much he hurts me.
I'm not your therapist. I'm not your therapist.
Harper will never evaluate her behavior.
I'm
ever.
not your therapist. Please.
So, we need an outsider's perspective.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
You're good with this stuff, right?
No.
Just tell us what to do.
Break up.
I'm at my fucking wit's end. I'll take it. I just feel paralyzed when I think of leaving or staying.
Yes, Crow? What's up?
I don't want Durkee to leave ever, but I don't know how to make him understand my feelings.
Please, just tell us what to do. I'm over this.
Yo, Narukami at therapy is making me cry. What? You two are toxic. Make a clean break.
Toxic?
No.
Come on, Harper. We both know it's true.
Yeah, Nurakami.
Remember how it was for you with Chappie? You guys never fought like we do.
Oh, yeah, but
I saw everything back then. It was easy for you two.
The girl got some problems.
But if it's hard, doesn't that mean that it's real?
Thank you for the alert, Flutie. Mwah.
I don't know about that.
No. If it's hard, it's... Oh,
Do you really want to keep being sad all the time?
I just don't even know what life looks like without you anymore.
It looks better than this.
Remember how it was before me? You can have that again.
Put the hole away, Vanya.
You can find someone to love you like Chappie did.
How can I? I don't know what's out there.
Put the hole away, Batosai. Put it all away.
You made me sad a lot, but you know me, and I know you. I don't want to start over.
Away.
Single?
Oh, God. Stinky.
I'm just so scared to lose Durkee the way I lost Chappie. I just wanted to hold on to him.
Stinky.
You never trusted me, even in the beginning. It took one wash cycle for you to freak out.
Put it away, Neeks. Put it away, Neeks.
I didn't even know what to do with it. So I just hid from you.
A little
You
spread.
made it all worse.
You want me to call you that, Palm? Bet. Palmo. You're such a bad little pen. Such a bad little pen. Thank you for the redeem. Mwah. You need to take some time to yourself, too. Yeah, Derek, you need to take some time
That's
for yourself,
fine
too.
with me. I know how I got here, but I don't really know what to do to never go there again. But I guess we can all agree this isn't good.
Yeah, this is any relationship I had in college.
He
Yeah.
sighs. Harper looks as if she might cry, but she manages to hold off.
Is this the end, then?
Nope, they're staying sealed.
Think so, yeah.
Harper holds her arms out, and though Dirk hesitates for a moment,
Blazing
walks over
devil
to envelop
hole.
her in a tender
Sorry.
hug.
I'll miss you, Durkee.
Don't miss me, Harper. Just take care of yourself, okay?
Yeah. You too.
They linger for a few moments, and then they part slowly, both turning to look at you.
Hey, thanks for everything.
We were so deep into this, we couldn't confront the truth on our own.
I threw up my fart.
I needed someone else to
Fucking
tell me it's okay to let
nasty.
go. I'm scared too, but
Gonna go see Washford in Drysdale.
Hey, yo, chat. Has the twink being been passed around by the yowies? By the toxic yowie? Are you telling me that the twink's been being passed around by the toxic yowie couple?
Wish you well, Harper.
You too, Turkey. Dirk.
Dirk gives each of you a nod, and then he walks off in the direction of the washer and dryer. Harper
Yes.
turns away,
He is voiced by the man who
tears
voices Vash the
sliding down her
Stampede.
cheek.
Vash the Stampede!
God, I can't look.
She turns to you instead, with a warmth in her eyes.
You know, you've really been there for me.
Harper.
Now that Dirk's gone. I never realized just how
Hey, Big
weighed
Berber, do we
down
date
you made
Harper?
me feel. But you come and go on your own all the time. And no matter how much Dirk
Thank you for
and
the
I
stretch.
screamed at you kept coming back.
Chat, I need the stats. Chat. I need the
Maybe
stats.
it's not that I have a trust issue.
Oh,
It's that
come
Dirk
on,
couldn't be trusted.
Harper. No. Girl. I mean, first off, I'm really into this. But girl. Please just promise me you'll get therapy.
She rolls her eyes at
Thank you for letting me know, Laura.
All right, fine. I'll see someone about it. But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about you and me.
Oh, chat, no, I know I'm broken. I'm attracted to people who are even more broken than I am.
I've only known you a short while now, but you remind me of Chappie.
No, Harper, honey.
Chappie, it was right immediately, and you. It's just been so easy with you. You've seen me at my worst, and you keep coming back.
Quit trying to unzip your top here.
I know it's a little fast, but I believe that when you know, you know. Please, tell me you'll stick around. I want to
Moxie, you need therapy. Shit. What do we say, chat? One, two, or three, chat. 1, 2, or 3, chat. Pick it for me. 1, 2, or 3. Hey, Vanya's not here. You know what? Here's what we're gonna do, chat. We'll make it a secret. I can fix her. No, you're right, Palm. I can fix her. Chat, I can fix her. We're going to do 1 minute duration. Each additional vote costs 100 points. Each additional vote costs 100 points. Pick it 1, 2, or 3. There's a poll at the top. Do the poll. I believe in you. If we pick 3, we do get to see the hot guy. I can barely clean my own apartment. I believe in you all. All right, we're going to put 2 votes because I think Palma would probably do 3. Sorry, Palma would do 1. Oh, shit, that's a lot on 3, chat. That's a lot on 3. That's a lot on 3. That is 35 votes on 3. That is 32 votes on 44. 3-1.
You broke up me and Durkee just to leave me alone?
Yeah.
It feels as if there's a storm cloud gathering in the room, and the air is as thick and tense as it is just before a thunderstrike.
I didn't break you up. You broke you
How
up.
dare you? We were just fine before you came along.
Oof.
Her hands are clenched into fists, her nostrils flaring.
Don't you ever in your life come ask me for anything. Turkey can sleep on the floor.
No.
I'm not holding any of your clothes ever again.
She lifts the laundry basket from her back and throws it clumsily in your direction. It lands nowhere near you, but the message is clear.
Get away from me.
As you make a hasty exit, you can hear Harper crying behind you.
Why does everybody leave me?
Okay, probably a good choice, though. Probably a good choice.
Keep your dirty laundry to yourself from now on.
Okay. Okay.
Love 'em, then leave 'em. Classic, right out of the old Hey playbook.
Quick, shit your pants. Toss him in the hamper. God, look at him, though.
Signed copies of the Hey playbook available at my website, www.
Give me a second, chat. It exists. It exists. Chat exists. It exists. Give me a second, chat. Chat, I lost it. I lost my thing. Here, oh shit. Okay, one second. Window washing cowboy, make it squeaky clean. Windex and a squeegee in your hand. You'll never find keep living me. From Galilee down to the Fiddle Grind. HateEverything.com. You've reached Reggie's Rejections with special website. Gallery. Ooh, hello. Posing sprites. Look at them. 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 Boo, 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 boo. And we have fan art. Look at all that fan art. I don't know who runs this website. This is just a random person. Who is this? Somebody just made this website. Somebody bought this website and made this website. Great. All right.
But not too shabby. You know, I'm not one for friendship much, but I think it's time we scooch up our relationship a half notch so I can throw you a bone in the form of specs points.
Mm-hmm.
We compadres now, you hear?
Mm-hmm. Yay!
So, yeah. Right.
Chat, we gained specs points. Woo woo! Sounds good to me. I hope I can get you to hate me too.
Oh, I can't wait. But look, I really do see potential in you.
Oh, the hamper. Raven, the hamper was just too toxic.
Maybe this time I can teach you my ways.
Oh, is that something I should learn?
Of course. The ways of sweet, sweet rejection.
I can't believe I
Getting
pissed
things
off
to
Lux
hate
so
you,
quickly, though.
be repulsed by you.
Oh.
The feeling of knowing that no one can hurt you as if you're alone at the end of the night.
I don't know.
What's there not to know? I'm talking about a happy life here. It gets easier, trust me. And hey, getting a hate ending with these chumps around here is real easy if you ask me. Plus,
I thought we were fucking around, and then Lux ended up hating me.
You know it. You'll be done with this little date beater experiment in no time.
Mm-hmm.
Keep hating.
Chat, we're gonna speedrun a hate ending after this, by the way. Okay. Is that soap?
The gladiator who stands before you is at once intimidating and alluring. She glares at you like she means to run you through. She also emanates the refreshing scent of springtime breeze.
Huh.
It slightly undermines whatever murderous intention.
It's Keeper? It's Keeper? Chat, screenshot, send it to Keeper. Tell it, Keeper, this is Keeper.
She is beautiful and terrifying. An Amazon in blue and pink. But even as she points her sword at your
Vanya
throat,
vibes? Vanya
all you can do
vibes?
is marvel at just how clean and sweetly scented.
You think Vanya?
Who dares disturb me?
Keeper? Vanya? Okay. Okay, gotcha.
You? Ha, name yourself! By all the pods in the firmament, I swear.
It's Tarek from League of Legends.
Thou hast
Ugh, League of
disturbed me
Legends.
For any reason less
League
worthy
of
than the
Legends. How
ready
much do you hate
memory
yourself?
of
Wow.
battle, I shall leave you sopped, dirty.
Vanya's cute and aggressive. We'll have to find
I shall
Vanya.
leave you as you present. Meet me.
Thank you for the hydrate. Cheers. Vanya's internet went out. Hydrate and stretch.
You, civilian, you wanted to meet. I am in the
It's a
pitch of
percentage.
battle. My pods rampage, sacrificing themselves to be reborn yet again. And you have pulled me here because you wanted to meet me. I confess to you, civilian. I am in a state of indecision.
Just a stretch.
I cannot decide if I hate you or if I am impressed by your fortitude.
Fortitude. Fortitude. I've got a lot of that and I think you like it.
For such bold abandon flaunts a newling's claim, for converse strange at altar side untold. You are not hated, despite thy impish impertinence. Perhaps there is something about you. But now is not the time. My occupation, my profession calls me back.
I like her.
For passion's sake I fly. For passion's sake
She's a bit
I
too
am
dramatic,
not
though.
pulled again. Come to me
That's a
only
good
when
question,
the
honestly.
hurly-burly is done, to win or loss.
The hurly whirly? The
And even
what
thy
the? Yeah.
puckishness shall not save thee.
What is a hurly burly?
When 'tis done, you will no longer.
Fucking. Hurly burly. Busy, boisterous activity. There we go. Hurly burly. Fucking stupid fucking words. Making up fucking words. I wash my clothes every weekend too. Betty's the best, though. Betty's the best. But we've already romanced Betty, so there's no point talking to her again. Okay, let's go talk to the clothes. Oh, hey, look, the clothes. Our clothes are clean.
An oddly familiar face greets you when you open your closet. Strange. You could have sworn you've met before, but you're also certain you've never seen this guy in your life.
Oh, I forgot about the ghost.
What's that look for? This how you greet everybody?
You look just like Dirk.
Duh. It's me, Clarence. You met me as Dirk. This is the version of me that Harper was so opposed to. She just couldn't stand that I was hotter than her like this.
I was hotter than her like
He
this.
gestures to the closet around him.
The Hanks live here, but we're certainly not an item.
Are you seeing anyone now?
Not really. Just one very special guy.
Who's the special guy?
Harper was right about one thing. I did have another in my heart. She's just wrong about who it was.
Who is it?
Clarence puts his hands together, inserting them into the middle of your hanging clothes and pulling them apart suddenly, clearing the way for you to see the back of the closet.
What's in the back of the closet?
Let me introduce.
Gulps loudly.
Feast your eyes on the finest, the sexiest, the cleanest Batman Dakimakura in existence.
Where is she? Where is my twink? Oh, do you want to be the Robin to my to my fucking? What is these? He's a weeb, chat.
Also known as a body pillow. If you're a fucking peasant.
He's a weeb. I mean, those are some pretty big baseballs, if you know what I'm talking about. I mean, like, damn. Are you allowed to be smuggling those things around? That seems like it's illegal in baseball.
Don't ask me.
I know, but I'm not a grips baseball bat seductively, shows off titties, and hoards two massive fucking bowling balls in his shorts.
Clarence gives you a warm smile.
It's been so hard getting any alone time, but you freed me from Harper's hammer.
All he wants to do is fuck a pillow.
Cats and I are
He's not a real thing. He's not even a living pillow. He's just a pillow.
We don't offer this to just anyone. But how'd you like to be our third?
He wants us to fuck the pillow with him. What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't want to be what do you mean gladly? What do you mean? It's a pillow, chat. Chat, it's a pillow. It's not even a human pillow. It's not even a human. Stop saying gladly. Stop being excited about this. Why do you want to fuck the man in his pillow? Oh, yeah. You know what, chat, we're voting. No double votes. Chat, if I get a body pillow, you're going to fuck the body pillow. Chat, if I get a body pillow, are you going to fuck the body pillow? God, the fact that too many people have said yes. The fact that too many people have said yes. I mean, fair enough. I get it. Go ahead and vote. 1, 2, 3, or 4. What do we got? Chat, this is something I'm going to talk to my therapist about later. I'm so glad I have therapy today. Okay, what do we got? Oh, God. 12 people. 75% of you.
Clarence takes you by the hand, pulling you in close so that you're sandwiched between him and his Batman pillow.
Good choice. We're about to make this entire house seethe with jealousy. There's never been such a hot couple.
The pillow says nothing.
Bats, wow, so dirty.
He talks for
But
the pillow.
I agree. Welcome to the greatest, sexiest relationship you'll ever have. We got a real clean kind of love.
All right, back to gaming. We got a real clean kind of love. Oh, God, I'm in the closet, chat. Oh, God. Kiss for Chad. Okay. I wasn't cheating on her with a guy. I was cheating on her with a pillow. Aha, isn't that so much better?
Oh, you're back. Try not to bore me too much this time. I challenge you to leave me speechless.
Here we go. Can I ride inside of you for a bit?
Well, well. Look at you. That may be possible. I do adore trying new
Never getting
things.
inside. Oh, baby. Oh, Desi. Desi,
More points
darling.
for you.
Mwah.
You are doing well. What a fun game.
One
this is.
second. Desi, you are so wonderful. You are so kind, sweet, and adorable. And I love the prompt that you gave me. You have a lovely voice, and I know that you are just such an incredible person. You're talented, and you deserve all the success in all your endeavors. Keep it up, and you'll get exactly what you deserve, I promise, Desi. Lovely, lovely Desi Darkness. Thank you so much for the redeem. Well, let's get you some points, too.
My. Look at you. Collecting all the points and the gold stars and the defending of the personal freedoms. I love it. You know what else I love? Flowers. Big bouquets of them. Birds of paradise are my favorites. They're impossible to get here.
We could have woken up the pillow, but we didn't. I'll get him flowers.
I wish you would try. It's just been so long since I had anyone to talk to.
We're getting him flowers, chat.
Oh, how are you going to take care of me if you don't know my personal tastes?
He's so needy.
Points.
Yay,
Ask
points!
me a question. Divine my being.
Venus. No, don't. What's up? Don't call. Why are you calling me Mr. Pants? What's your color?
Forever and perfectly a combination of lavender purple and baby blue, culminating in a sultry, subtle, undeniable periwinkle.
Thank you for the follow, the subscription. Thank you, Lacey. Thank you. Mwah. Do. Meeks, I appreciate you.
Sultry, my darling examiner. I am seduced by beauty.
What's your beat a dog?
Oh, this is an easy one. I
Woof,
have
woof,
a
woof.
long-standing love
Woof.
affair with
I mean, what?
a tassel hound.
Thank you, Neeks. I really do appreciate it, Neeks.
And if you don't know what a tassel hound is, which wouldn't surprise me, given
We
that
did
you're
not bend over for clothes, chat. We did not.
you must go and chat with Mateo.
I know what
There's
tassel hound
so
is.
damn many of them, you know, and they are adorable.
They are. Bend down and fold for Venus. I mean, hey, Venus.
Ah, the exploring type. Not always my preference. I tend to go for ones who stick themselves in one place, stubbornly, forever.
Oh. I am not a bottom. I'm not a bottom, chat.
Well, of course, silly. We are stackables, after all. We are not brothers or anything incestuous as
Yes.
that. Just a mere 25-year fling.
Find me, Lacey.
Yes, I suppose, but time means less to me than some others I know. It's been a blink of a timer setting, really.
What do you want to do, Mitchie? Oh, no, don't you dare.
I was better at it in the beginning, but it's been so long.
How dare you. What quite, yes. I'm sorry, I got distracted. What? You want me to assert my I'm so confused, chat. Because I'm gonna do an ASMR thing with them. I'm doing an ASMR collab with I follow only bottoms. It's gonna be a big ASMR collab, so I think I'm just gonna do a reading, like a book reading. Or should I do tarot reading, chat? What do you think I should do for the ASMR? I could do book reading, I could just do soft-spoken words, I could do a tarot reading. I don't know, actually.
Yes.
A book reading? I'll do book reading. I'll do poetry book. Neeks, do you have a recommendation?
Because it was by far the most important and tricky and insightful question, and since I answered all of them correctly,
Did he just say
I win.
yes? Did he just say yes, that he still loves him?
I love to win. Oh, I love gold stars. I love Washford. I love Washford.
You do? Oh, they love Washford.
Oh, damn it.
Old man Yowie.
Drysdale runs a hand through his hair.
Oh.
Oh, God. I can't tell you how inconvenient this is.
Oh. Yeah, believe me, pal, I get it. I get it.
Truly.
No,
So many don't.
I get it.
Not that I've confessed or confided in anyone else in this linoleum gossip shop.
Bet. I'll do Pomo. Find me a PDF of it and I'll read it.
I think the consensus about Washford is that he's
Why are you
a
sad,
wet
Crow?
nurse for pablum and I'm better off. Or it could be also that I'm a flighty and performative hot air balloon and he's better off. But either way, I just couldn't stand to hear it.
I don't want to stop this. I want them to be back together.
Asked. But if you really do understand the gross inconvenience represented by...
They're cute. And I know, like, how hard it can be when you don't feel like you're a match, but
Then I
you know
am
you are. I feel this. I get this.
You must do something for me. You can see now, I trust, that I am incapable of solving this puzzle on my own. I'm too bound up in it, and I have loved being bound up before, Cherub. Believe you me.
I'm sorry, Crow. Good luck with your yitties.
But this dramatic pause, I am entangled.
But this dramatic pause. I am entangled. What can I do? We'll talk about what can I do?
You must talk to him for me. You must, please. Try to repair this chasm.
Oh, I refuse to try to stop artists.
It's like a new stained canyon has torn its way through my heart.
Look, all you can do is grin and bear it. And when I see the aftermath, I can cry or be super happy. But you can't stop an artist, not if they really want to do it. I know I have to get them tailored. Oof.
Please.
I can try.
Understood. I've always considered promises to be rather passé anyway. Sort of just like Barry Harris. Just, you know, don't. Really. Thank you.
Ah, you are returned. Each sunrise should be greeted
We're
with the same
fixing this
surprise
relationship, chat. We're
gratitude.
fixing the relationship.
I am, as you might have gleaned, glad to see you. I've
We're
been
fixing it.
thinking about you.
Stop hitting on me. You have a boyfriend.
I'm sure you know by now that words come to me like moths gather round a candle. They flap in my brain and alight in the most delightful patterns. Chaos, they are my heart, beating to be heard and felt. But to you, who have wounded and mocked and derailed me, I have discovered I have nothing else at all to say.
What did I do? What did I do? What did I do?
I am out of words for you.
What did I do? Chat, my old man Yowie. Chat, my old man Yowie. I mean, at least it's a consolation prize.
Talks way too much.
I'm just gonna cry in the corner. All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces. Okay, well. Wait, are we talking about titty sizes? Chat? Yeah, we'll talk to Eddie. We'll talk to Eddie and Volt. Or Hector. Yeah, that'll make me feel better. Hello, Muna's over here. Hello, how are you doing? Hello, Bunny Cookie. Nice to meet you. Oh, hey! That is like a 1% chance of winning. Where are you? Was that Moon? Congratulations on your sub. GGGG, congratulations on winning.
With its inimitable host standing ready at the door to greet you.
Livewire, you look.
Hi, but also hello, Bunny Cookie. Welcome. Thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate you.
Do we have the pleasure of your company for another evening?
I don't need more titties. How big are my titties? Oh, how big are my titties? Probably like A cup.
Be honest.
At best.
You enjoyed yourself so much last time, you just couldn't stay away. Am I right?
Actually, I tried to come by a few times, but the club was closed.
You did?
No. I made Washford hate me. I made Washford hate me.
To have missed you. But I'm glad you stopped in.
Volt is beautiful.
Up to you.
Volt is beautiful.
Come, let me show you.
Volt takes you by the arm and brings you deeper into the club. There are indeed improvements and fixes galore, many of which you recognize. Some of them are your own work. Others must have been Eddie.
I'm not ignoring you, Aura. I responded to you. You said, is that Doug? I said, it's not Doug. It was Washford that we made hate us.
Dazzling, isn't it? A true marvel. It was luxurious before, of course, but our dear Eddie really outdid himself this time. What do you think? Worth the wait, I hope?
Oh, by the way, if you're being delayed, please refresh the stream and you'll catch up. Mwah.
There are some other upgrades I had done just for you.
Volt snaps his long fingers.
Oh, do you know why your left titty is usually bigger?
Changes from the upbeat and swanky to the sensual and slow.
The left titty is usually bigger because you are right-hand dominant.
And cocks an eyebrow.
So whatever hand you're dominant is usually the titty that's smaller.
What do you say we enjoy it a little more closely together, Care to dance?
He leads you onto the floor, not once losing your eyes.
You move
Struvax.
Livewire. I'm impressed.
The song has ended, but Volt has left his arm encircling your waist. He turns his face to yours.
You can actually cause your titties to shrink a bit by doing a large amount of chest workouts. Do we kiss Volt or do we pull away? Kiss Volt or do we pull away? Or do we, if there's something chat, what are we doing? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, real quick. First person to say it. 1, 2, or 3. Oh. The first person who actually gave a number was Wow. Wow is the first person to give a number as I requested, so we're pulling away, chat. Thank you for the follow, Sir Dino.
Thank you for the dance. It has been a long time since I've had the pleasure of...
Thank you for the follow, Sir Dino.
Welcome.
Volt seems oddly disappointed. It's an unusual...
It's too late, chat. By the way, if stream is lagging for you a little bit, please refresh the stream.
I must admit, I am rather reluctant to let you go, Livewire. I enjoyed your company as always.
Thank you for the follow, Lulu.
But
welcome.
Fortunately, This is where I must take my leave. The show will be starting soon.
Sorry, Jet.
Volt leaps onto the stage as you settle into your seat.
Good evening, my fellow objects and gentle things. I hope you're ready for...
Oh, who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be?
The power surges violently, and Volt stumbles.
Oh no!
Catches his breath and steadies himself.
Oh no!
Ready for an incredible performance.
He's gonna fall. He's gonna
The
fall.
system buzzes, cracking and flaring. Volt drops to a knee and clutches his belly. The surge rages until the very room seems to shake when suddenly everything goes blank.
Womp womp womp. Volt!
You hear nothing but the panic of the audience.
Volt!
The confused scrape of chairs. You make your way through the club in the dark to hear familiar voices.
You have to stop, Eddie.
Stop Eddie. What did Eddie do?
I can get it back. Just give me a minute to recharge. I can... Oh!
As your eyes adjust to the darkness, you can make out that you've made it to some back room, a forgotten corner. Both Eddie and Volt look exhausted. Eddie dangerously so.
We're gonna have to pick one or the other, one, chat.
He fiddles with the grid controls.
We're gonna have to pick one or the other.
Stop. Eddie, please. Just let me go out. You're going to fry yourself completely. I said no, Volt.
Just let me go out. You're gonna fry yourself completely.
Eddie. I can fix this. Eddie. Fuck's sake, Volt, I'm not letting you go out, okay? We both know what that could mean, and I'm not... I can't go back to being alone.
What do you mean alone?
I can't lose you. You can't keep splitting yourself like this. If you do, then...
Volt notices your presence and moves to stand.
Wait,
Eddie,
are they the same person?
It's fine. They deserve to know.
They're the same person.
I'm failing. The power is
No,
failing,
I
and
think
can't
they
stop.
are the same person.
Eddie leans back against the grid controls, his posture crooked.
Because
and
they
jagged.
said splitting
He
yourself.
seems ready to combust from the inside, but years of control are keeping him standing. For now.
It was slow enough at first. I didn't even notice it. Small fluctuations, random surges. The entire house depends on my power, and it's my job to keep it stable for them. To keep them all safe.
Okay.
I had to work harder to compensate. I thought, if I could outlast it would all balance out. But it only made things worse. Even
Shut him
more
up, I'm struggling.
unstable. So I had to push even harder just to keep up.
I want to speak. I want to talk, but like I don't want to interrupt anything they're saying.
And it just became normal. To always be completely drained, barely hanging on. I don't know how long it took me to realize that it was my fault to begin with. My faulty wire. I was the problem. But I couldn't stop. They still needed me.
What about what you need?
Exactly. They needed me, and I needed help. So I gave it to myself. I split myself. So there was more of me to go around. I made Volt. He was my fix.
What does that make Volt exactly?
Here, and still perfectly capable of hearing you. Thank you very much. This club has to run. It's
Oh, 1 second, chat. We're snoozing the ad
and
break.
I have to have Volt to make it work.
Okay.
I made him. It was supposed to be temporary. It only slowed things down by spreading out the power. But then, even that became too much. And now maintaining me is draining him just as much as...
Oh no.
Just stop. I already told you. Eddie, they still need you.
It's my job to protect you. We're not doing it. It's too risky.
Just tell me so we can figure it out together.
The faulty wire.
Okay.
Oh, don't! You have to fix the wire and reset the system. If you do that, Volt could disappear. I don't know if I can bring it back. Please.
Chat.
You can't.
Chat. If Volt is part of you, then you'll never lose him. Change is scary, but it can lead to something good. If I fix the wire, you won't really need both of you. If Volt is part of you, then you'll never lose him.
Easy to say when you're not the one who has to go through it. You don't know what it was like.
Yeah. It's not really a different option, is there? Tell Phantom I say hi. Maybe not, but even I can see what it's like right now. Whatever happens, you don't have to go through it alone. I'm here.
It's the only fix left, Eddie. We have to try.
Eddie sits there for a long moment, then finally nods.
Wow.
What the tools are?
Wow.
I'll walk you through what to do.
Wow. Doing great, almost there.
Wait. Fuck. Are we sure we have to do this?
Yeah.
Quite. It's time, Eddie. Fine. Fine. All right, just before that, I just wanted to thank you for being here, I guess.
All right.
Whatever, just do it before I change my mind.
Here we go, chat. Mwah.
Eddie leads you through the process, patient and attentive despite his reservations. When you've finished, he gives you the nod to do the rest. The dim light around Eddie and Volt blinks out completely, leaving you in total darkness. For a few moments, everything is quiet and dark. And then, a rustle.
Lick his battery, see if there's a charge.
The lights turn on.
Did it work?
Over here.
Eddie is sitting at the bar, looking haggard but with a light in his eyes that you've never seen before.
Oh, hey there, Livewire.
Only Volt calls me that.
Huh. I guess that's true. Funny. Felt really natural to say. I feel good. I'm pretty tired.
Eddie does
After a
look
reset, that's
recharged.
normal. I don't know. I just feel stable. I'd almost forgotten what this felt like.
Where's Volt?
Eddie.
Volt!
Something you wanted to talk
Volt!
about, huh?
Chat, it's Volt. We got him. Also, thank you for the follow. Oh, hello, Volt.
Fuck, you were right.
We're right, chat. We were right.
I was holding
Oh,
on
I
so
knew
tight
it.
to
I
the way
knew
I thought
it.
things had to be. I didn't realize all that did was trap both of us in a situation that wasn't working. And honestly, I'm not sure I would have ever been
Sandwich time. Eiffel Tower. Thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. Mwah. Oh, you won. Shit, we've had 2 winners now. And thank you for the kiss for chat. Mwah. Here, you won. Ooh, I can't believe we've had 2 winners. Enjoy your victory. We're going to snooze the end a little bit longer.
Volt? We both are, but I'm sure you already knew that. Look at you.
Taken with me as in?
As in?
Wait, taken with me?
As in, do we really have to spell it out?
The feeling is very much mutual. The feeling is very much mutual. The feeling is very much mutual.
Really? I mean, if you're interested, we wouldn't mind you, sticking around. If you feel like it. Or we would be delighted to have you.
Amazing. Yes, please, give me that Volt Eddie sandwich.
All right, well, if you're going to stick around, might as well be useful.
Might as well be
Come
useful.
on. You remember where the tools are? Let's go.
What do you mean where the tools
I'll
are?
send over some drinks.
What do you mean where the tools are? What are we fixing? Let's go. Let's go. We went up. Yeah, we did well, chat. We did well, chat. Does he vibrate if he's electric? If they don't find your hands, at least they can find you handy. True facts, true facts. All right, chat, we have one more for the day. Who do you want to talk to? If you were to talk to anybody, there's a stuffed bear in here. Do you all want to talk to the stuffed bear? We have two more. We got to talk to the ghost. So we can do the bear, and then we'll talk to the ghost, and then I'll be it for today. All right, we'll talk to the teddy bear.
There's something so intensely familiar about the cuddly stranger standing in your closet. The combination of his massive stature and the soft materials he wears produces an almost irresistible urge to hug him. And the aura of...
Well, well, well. Aren't you a sight for sore eyes?
Well, well, well. Aren't you a sight for sore eyes? He's a bear. I bet you say that to everybody.
Well, I'm kind to everybody.
Aww.
Well, almost everybody. I try to be kind as much as I can, but sometimes considerate is the best I can do. I think of kindness kind of like really good peanut butter.
Mm-hmm.
For people who like peanut butter, who savor it, who appreciate and enjoy it, I give them a lot of it because I get it back and boy, it feels good.
No.
But for people who don't like peanut butter, who scrape it off or who don't even notice when they've gotten a big, thick layer.
Chat, I'm getting a call. 1 second.
Why give them more of what they don't want?
Chat, I have therapy. Chat, I have therapy. Chat, I have therapy. We're ending stream. Bye, everybody. Love you all. Mwah.